Hi everyone, this is Adi Ashaya, arranger, composer, producer, musician. In addition, music education is also very close to my heart and I have many years of experience in the field. After a long break from posting arranging tips videos, I'm excited to be back now with some new ideas that hopefully will help your work and creative flow. If you'd like to pursue these materials any further, please check out my Zoom arranging seminars and subscribe to my channel. Today I'd like to share with you some ideas and stories from my involvement in Prince's release of Art Official Age. As some of you may know, I was introduced to Prince by my friend, trombonist Michael B. Nelson. Michael was the horn arranger for Prince and the founder of the Hornheads, who were the horn section for these recordings. Between 2013 and Prince's passing in 2016, Michael and I have collaborated on many recordings with Prince, and some of them were released and some of them were stored in the famous vault. Michael was the producer for these sessions, I was the string arranger and conductor, and I brought Rebecca Ahrens and String Genius, who assembled a fantastic group of musicians to play my string arrangements. One of the songs we recorded strings on was Way Back Home. Months later, after the record was out, I was listening to the tracks and I got to Way Back Home, and to my surprise, the strings were gone. No strings on the song. So I continued listening and I stumbled through a track called Affirmation III. To my surprise, there was my arrangement for Way Back Home, but with much larger focus on the strings, with something completely different. Also, a section of my harp part showed up in another track called Affirmation 1 and 2 as an underscore. Today I'd like to take the string arrangement for Way Back Home back to the song that it was intended for. Here I'd like to share with you some considerations and techniques that guided me through this project and helped me make the musical decisions on this track. The thing that grabbed me right out of the gate and helped me conceptualize the string arrangement was the harmonic minimalism. 3 repeated chords paved throughout the track in that 3-minute song. The repeated chord progression is D flat, E flat, and F minor. Also, there is a melodic hook that shapes that progression into an 8-bar sections. And here is how. The repeated 4 bars have some sort of a second ending that offers a rest to conclude the hook. Notice how in every 4th bar, the hook introduces a flat 6 to the chord that resolves to the 5. Clearly, the flat 6 is a foreign note in minor, and when it's played, it actually forms a D flat chord over F. But in order to keep the simplicity that was intended here, we'll continue calling this F minor and let the flat 6 resolve to 5. This would keep things more consistent and simple. As we'll see in this arrangement, the strings will attempt to add some continuity and variety to the track, just as a contrast to the repeated hook and the chord progression. As we're going through this arrangement, you'll see the flexibility of the string section in terms of frequent shifting of textures, combinations between single note and voicings, and how well they imply the harmony when the chords are incomplete. So let's begin. The intro opens with a single note, the root, joined by the 5th in delay, and when we reach the tonic F minor, the chord notes are added and sustained into a melodic passage that fills the rest at the end of the hook in bar 5. Now check the score reduction with strings only. and the song starts. The song starts without strings, and the first entrance is in bar 13, which is the second part of the verse. Notice how both violin 1 and violin 2 are in divisi, but these are only 3 parts, not 4 parts as it appears. If you look carefully, you'll see that the top note is doubled on both violin 1 and violin 2, and that adds a little more weight to the lead note. The parts here are an imitation of the hook and a catch-up with the flat 6 into 5 in bar 16. This is a pretty hollow harmonic part, but when it combined with the track and the melody, it sounds pretty full. Between bars 17 and 20, the low strings will double the bass who plays the roots just to give it a bit more color. Here they are by themselves. The strings here, in a bit delay, state the D-flat 2 chord, but in bar 22, when the viola moves melodically, the voicing shifts from a brief cluster into a hollow, incomplete voicing, keeping the E-flat, the top note, as a common tone between the 3 chords. Here are the strings by themselves. In bar 23, the tonic resolution, the strings play minor 7 with tension 11 in spread voicing. From there, the violins double the hook in a single note when the violas and cellos are padding in a 4-way close. Here. Notice the interlocked position of the voicing. Next, notice the variety of textures transitioning into the next section. Bars 35 and 36 are in octaves. Bars 37 and 38 sound much richer when the violins are in thirds with an octave doubling of the lead. That section is supported by the violas and cellos that move in a contrary motion. A similar line in bars 39 and 40 has much more hollow harmonization. And then in bars 41 and 42, the strings are in semi-open triads. Bars 45 through 60 actually repeat methods that we already discussed, so we're now skipping to the section starting in bar 64. Right in bar 64, there is an incomplete chord voicing in tremolo. That takes us into open triads in the low strings as they support open fifths and octaves in the violins. Here are the strings by themselves. In bar 68, we have a violin sweep into the hook one more time. Under the sweep, in beats 3 and 4, the low strings will support harmonically and rhythmically. There we use variety of voicings in contrary motion, which lead into pads that are voiced in 4-way close. Here are the strings by themselves. Now continuing into pickup to bar 73. The violins are playing a simple counter line in octaves, but notice in bar 74 and 75 how the violins wrap this line with variety of intervals, starting with fifths, going into thirds, and ending on fourths. In the background, the low strings are playing percussive accompaniment in open fifths. I'd like to conclude this session with a topic I discuss in my seminars quite a bit, and it is harmonic parts created by lines. Bar 77, which wraps this arrangement, takes the violins from octaves into 2 parts that lead into the last chord of D flat 2. Against that, we have the violas and cellos in contrary motion. While this short passage is in harmony, it can't really be analyzed with specific voicing techniques, and if we consider the difference in rhythms between the violins, the violas and cellos, even chord symbols are not really relevant here. If you like the information on this video, please subscribe to my channel and also check out my Zoom arranging seminars. Thanks so much for watching.